There are moments between two people when silence says more than 1,000 conversations ever could. Attraction has a language of its own, one that doesn't rely on carefully chosen words or direct confessions. It reveals itself in the spaces between sentences, in the pauses, in the subtle cues that the heart sends out long before the mind dares to speak. Unspoken energy speaks louder than words because energy is honest. It cannot be faked for long, it cannot be hidden behind masks, and it cannot be denied when it begins to flow between two souls. When someone secretly likes you, it's not always the words that will give them away. It's the way their presence changes when you enter the room, the way their body unconsciously shifts towards you, the way their eyes search for yours even when surrounded by a crowd. Think about it, when two people share an undeniable connection, they don't need a script. A simple glance can carry more weight than an entire conversation. The eyes, after all, are often called the windows to the soul for a reason. If she likes you, her eyes will linger just a little longer. And even if she quickly looks away, that microsecond of hesitation is her truth slipping through. Words can be carefully crafted, but eyes betray feelings in an instant. There's an electricity in the way two people look at each other when attraction is present, a current that runs beneath the surface and makes even ordinary moments feel charged. Body language is another form of unspoken energy that reveals more than people intend. Subtle things like leaning in when you speak, mirroring your movements, playing with her hair, or unconsciously pointing her feet toward you all communicate interest without a single word being exchanged. These small signs may seem insignificant on their own, but together they form a pattern, a silent message that says, if I am drawn to you, energy has a rhythm, and when two people are in sync, their bodies align without them realizing it. This alignment is never forced, it simply happens when attraction takes over. Then there's the atmosphere that surrounds you when you're together. You've probably felt it before. The way the room feels different, lighter, or more alive when a certain person walks in. That shift is unspoken energy at work. When someone secretly likes you, they bring a different kind of presence into your world. Their laughter might come easier, their attention might be sharper, and their vibe might feel warmer. Even without verbal acknowledgement, the energy between you creates an unspoken bond. It's in the pauses of the conversation where silence doesn't feel awkward but instead feels charged with possibility. This energy also shows itself in the small details of interaction. Maybe she finds excuses to brush past you, her touch lingering a little longer than necessary. Maybe she positions herself close enough that your shoulders occasionally graze. Maybe she laughs a little louder at your jokes than she does with anyone else, not because the joke was funnier, but because she feels joy in sharing the moment with you. Each of these tiny behaviors is a reflection of energy, her subconscious revealing the attraction she may never put into words. It's important to understand that attraction is not always loud or obvious. In fact, the strongest signs are often the quietest. They live in the in-between moments. The way she texts you without a clear reason, the way she remembers something small you once mentioned, or the way she glances at you when she thinks you're not looking. These are fragments of unspoken energy, small yet powerful signals that her feelings are more than casual. When we focus too much on what is said, we often miss what is felt. Words can mislead, but energy rarely lies. To recognize if someone secretly likes you, pay attention not to their rehearsed sentences, but to the rhythm of their presence, the consistency of their attention, and the subtle language of their body. The most profound connections don't begin with loud declarations, they begin with whispers of energy, unspoken but undeniable, carrying truths the heart already knows. Attention is one of the rarest and most powerful gifts a person can give, especially in a world filled with endless distractions. Phones buzzing, notifications flooding, conversations overlapping. Our minds are constantly pulled in 100 different directions. That is why when someone chooses to direct their attention toward you, it is never accidental. Where her focus goes, her feelings often follow. Because attention is the purest form of investment. Time can be wasted, words can be shallow, but attention requires presence. It demands that she pauses the noise of everything else and centers her energy on you, even if just for a moment. That choice is a reflection of how much you matter in her internal world. When a woman secretly likes you, her attention becomes consistent in ways you may not even notice at first. She remembers details you casually mentioned weeks ago. The name of your childhood dog, the story of your favorite place, or the struggles you're currently facing. Those details become anchors in her mind because she values what you say. Most people forget half the conversations they have during the day, but when feelings are involved, the brain pays sharper attention, as if highlighting every piece of information. Her ability to recall what matters to you is her way of showing that your voice doesn't fade into the background, it lingers in her memory. Attention also reveals itself through the way she prioritizes you. Life is busy for everyone, but she somehow finds a way to check in, send you a message, or make time in her schedule to see you. That isn't coincidence. Human beings make time for what they value, and her decision to include you in her day is a silent signal of affection. Even in small gestures, like responding quickly to your texts, engaging deeply in conversations instead of multitasking, or noticing when something is off in your tone, she shows that her focus gravitates toward you. Attention like that is never random, it's guided by emotion. Another form of attention lies in the little ways she observes you. Attraction sharpens awareness. She notices how you style your hair differently one day, or that you've been quieter than usual, or even the way your mood shifts in subtle ways. These observations are not superficial, they are the result of her focus scanning for signals, because she cares. The average person might overlook these things, but someone who secretly likes you cannot help but pay attention to the smallest changes. Her feelings direct her focus like a compass, always tuned toward you. There's also the quality of her listening. True attention isn't just about hearing words, it's about understanding them. If she leans in when you talk, if she asks follow-up questions, if she remembers not just what you said, but how you felt when you said it, then she is giving you more than casual focus. She is investing emotionally in your experience. That depth of listening is rare, because most people listen to reply, not to understand. But when someone secretly likes you, they listen to connect, and that difference is everything. Attention has an emotional cost, and people do not spend it carelessly. If she consistently invests her focus in you, it means she feels something strong enough to pull her away from the distractions of her world. Feelings create gravity, and where the heart leans, the mind follows. That's why you should never overlook the power of attention. It may not come in the form of direct confessions, but in the steady, quiet way her focus chooses you over and over again. That is the hidden language of affection, unspoken, undeniable, and far louder than words. Comfort is one of the most powerful indicators of hidden affection, because when a woman feels safe around you, she naturally lowers the barriers she usually keeps up with the rest of the world. Safety allows her to drop the mask of perfection, to let go of guarded behavior, and to show pieces of her true self that not everyone gets to see. Comfort creates openness, and in that openness her affection quietly reveals itself. Words may still remain unspoken, but her actions, expressions, and the way she carries herself around you speak volumes about how deeply she trusts and values your presence in her life. When a woman secretly likes you, one of the first signs you'll notice is how her demeanor shifts in your company. In a world where women are often taught to be cautious, polite, or reserved, she will only let her authentic self shine when she feels emotionally secure. That authenticity shows up in small but telling ways, laughing without restraint, sharing unfiltered thoughts, or being playful and silly without worrying about judgment. This freedom isn't just about personality. It's her heart signaling that she feels safe enough with you to let her guard down. Openness always grows from comfort, and comfort always points toward trust. Pay close attention to the conversations she has with you. Around others, she might stick to light surface-level topics, but with you, she ventures deeper. She shares personal stories from her childhood, her dreams for the future, or even her fears and insecurities. Those revelations are not random. They are choices rooted in trust. A woman doesn't casually share her vulnerable side with someone she sees as temporary or insignificant. She reveals it only to someone who has earned a place of safety in her world. And that openness is one of the clearest signs of hidden affection. Her body language also changes when she feels comfortable. Instead of sitting stiffly or maintaining a protective posture, she relaxes in your presence. She might lean toward you, make prolonged eye contact, or even sit closer without realizing it. Comfort shows in her willingness to be physically near you without tension, because closeness no longer feels like a threat. Even the small gestures, like letting her hair down, removing her jacket, or absent-mindedly touching your arm during conversation, carry a message. These actions may seem casual, but they are her subconscious way of signaling, I feel safe here, and I want to stay close. Another powerful indicator of comfort is silence. Many people feel awkward when a conversation dies down, rushing to fill the space with words. But when a woman secretly likes you and feels safe in your presence, silence doesn't bother her. In fact, it feels natural. She can sit beside you without speaking and still feel connected. That comfort in quiet moments reveals a level of emotional closeness that goes far beyond surface attraction. It shows she doesn't need constant stimulation to enjoy your company. Your presence alone is enough. Notice also how she handles her imperfections around you. Most people try to hide their flaws, but if she's willing to show her messy hair, her tired face, or her quirky habits without embarrassment, it's because she trusts that you won't judge her for them. That rawness is a form of openness that is deeply tied to affection. She wants you to see her as she truly is, not as a filtered version of herself. That desire for transparency comes only when she secretly hopes for something deeper with you. In the end, comfort is not created overnight. It is earned through respect, consistency, and emotional safety. When she relaxes in your presence, when she opens up her world to you, when she allows herself to be imperfect and vulnerable, those are not casual choices. They are reflections of hidden affection, because comfort unlocks openness. And openness is the doorway through which love quietly enters. The beauty of human connection often lies in the small things, the details that most people overlook, but that carry immense meaning when seen with careful eyes. Love and attraction are rarely announced with loud declarations in the beginning. Instead, they reveal themselves quietly, tucked away in subtle gestures that seem ordinary on the surface but are full of emotion underneath. Small gestures carry big messages because the heart finds ways to speak even when the lips remain silent. When a woman secretly likes you, she may never confess it directly, but the little things she does will paint a picture of her feelings far clearer than words ever could. Think about how she pays attention to the details of your life. Maybe you once mentioned your favorite snack in passing, and a week later she brings it to you without making a big deal about it. Maybe she remembers the name of your childhood pet or the fact that you had an important meeting, and she follows up by asking how it went. These gestures seem minor, but they require attention, care, and effort. People don't hold on to details unless they matter to them. Every remembered fact is her way of saying, I listen to you, and what you say matters to me. Another subtle yet powerful gesture is the way she shows concern for your well-being. It might be something as small as reminding you to eat when you're busy, checking in when you're sick, or sending a message when she senses your mood has shifted. These small acts of care may not look like grand declarations, but they are love in its simplest form. She may never say outright that she worries about you, but the way she notices and responds to your needs is her heart revealing affection through action. Even physical gestures can speak volumes. A gentle touch on your arm when she laughs, adjusting your collar, brushing lint off your jacket, or choosing to sit close enough that your shoulders touch. These are not meaningless actions. They are intentional ways of bridging the gap between friendship and something deeper, often done without her fully realizing it. The human body tends to move toward what it desires, and those little touches are physical echoes of what the heart feels but cannot yet say. Pay attention also to her efforts to make you feel included. Maybe she saves you a seat, involves you in conversations, or creates excuses to spend time around you. These gestures may seem casual, but beneath them lies intentionality. She's making sure you are part of her space, weaving you into her moments because she wants you there. The subtlety of this behavior is what makes it so powerful. It is not forced, it is not staged, it simply flows naturally from her desire to be near you. Even the way she communicates through digital spaces can hold hidden messages. If she remembers to send you a good morning text, reacts thoughtfully to what you share online, or finds reasons to continue conversations instead of letting them fade, those are not coincidences. In a world full of distractions, her decision to invest energy into maintaining connection with you is one of the clearest signals of attraction. Small gestures also show up in her laughter, her smiles, and the way her energy shifts when you're around. Maybe she laughs more freely at your jokes than at anyone else's, or her face lights up when you enter the room. She may not say anything, but her body betrays her joy. Emotions are hard to contain, and when someone secretly likes you, even the smallest expressions of happiness become visible when you are present. These little details might be easy to dismiss, but together they form a pattern that speaks of care, affection, and interest. Grand declarations may impress for a moment, but it's the small, consistent gestures that reveal where the heart truly lies. When you notice them, you begin to understand that the language of love is not always loud or obvious. It lives in the quiet details, in the gestures so small they could be missed, yet so meaningful they carry the weight of everything unspoken. Attraction is not always found in the grand moments, the carefully chosen words, or the rehearsed conversations. More often, it reveals itself in the in-between spaces, the pauses, the silences, the unguarded moments where the heart speaks without filters. Attraction shows in the gaps, not the spotlight, because in those quiet intervals there is no performance, no deliberate attempt to impress. Instead, there is authenticity, and authenticity is where true feelings hide. When a woman secretly likes you, it is not always her direct words that reveal the truth. It is what happens in between them that tells you far more. Consider the moments of silence during a conversation. Most people rush to fill silence because they fear awkwardness, but when there is attraction, silence carries a different weight. If she lingers comfortably in those pauses, smiling softly, holding eye contact, or simply being present without fidgeting, it is because she feels something deeper. Silence becomes a safe space rather than an uncomfortable one. And that comfort says more about her feelings than any well-crafted sentence could. Watch how she behaves before and after speaking. The way her eyes flicker toward you, the way she takes a breath as if steadying herself before sharing something personal, or the way she glances down shyly after making a bold statement. These in-between signals are windows into her emotions. They may last only a second, but they hold more truth than the words themselves. Attraction often leaks out through hesitation, through the nervous laugh that follows a joke, through the quick change of topic when she feels she's revealed too much. Body language in the gaps is just as telling. The way she adjusts her posture when you enter the room, how she unconsciously leans closer when you speak, or the way her feet point toward you even if she's engaged in conversation with others, these are subtle cues that are easy to miss but are rarely accidental. When she brushes her hair behind her ear, taps her fingers nervously, or plays with small objects while you talk, these micro-behaviors are her body's unspoken language of attraction. They fill the spaces between her words with meaning, revealing what she may be too guarded to admit. Even the smallest timing choices hold weight. Notice how quickly she responds to your messages, how often she finds excuses to prolong conversations, or how she reacts when you pause before replying. Those beats in between communication are not random. They show eagerness, hesitation, or anticipation, all signs that her heart is more involved than her words might suggest. If she lingers just a little longer before saying goodbye, or if she hesitates to end a call, those gaps are her way of holding on to you without explicitly saying she wants more time. Another layer of truth appears in the way she listens. While her words of encouragement may sound friendly, the depth of her focus in the spaces where you're speaking reveals her interest. Does she hold eye contact longer than necessary? Does she tilt her head slightly, showing genuine engagement? Does she smile softly even when you're not saying anything funny, simply because she enjoys the moment of being with you? These little gestures, hidden between your sentences, are louder than any declaration of interest. The most powerful indicator of attraction in the gaps is emotional presence. You can feel when someone is genuinely there with you, not distracted, not half engaged, but fully invested in the moment. She may not always say how she feels, but the way she slows down in your company, the way she allows silence to stretch, the way her energy shifts when you're near, all of these in-between signals are her heart's quiet confession. Attraction rarely lives in the spotlight where everyone can see. It lives in the unnoticed seconds, the pauses between laughter, the lingering glances, and the hesitation before walking away. If you want to understand how she truly feels, stop focusing only on her words and start paying attention to the spaces between them. That's where her truth lies, hidden in plain sight, waiting for someone attentive enough to recognize it.